Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Air Hauler 2 with me, Heard 37. So it's been a while since I've actually done anything with Air Hauler 2. Basically with anything that I do here, I kind of go in spurts and I just kind of get on a roll with it. And so I've been doing FS Economy and stuff like that. And Air Hauler, actually, original Air Hauler. But yesterday I started up Air Hauler 2 and a huge update, I think a huge update came out. And that is right here. As you can see, we have humanitarian missions. And it fits perfectly. Look at this TNCM, Princess Juliana International, which is St. Martin. I love that airport, by the way. And you can see this ends November 1st. They need emergency housing. So 8 emergency housing items and shelters are required immediately in the surrounding area due to damage to local infrastructure and housing by Hurricane Irma. All 8 agencies and companies are asked to assist as soon as possible. So they need emergency housing. And I believe, yeah, it's the same over here at Mexico City. So MMMX, which is Mexico City. Emergency housing, again, that also ends on November 1st. An earthquake is struck on the 19th of September in the area of Mexico City, causing widespread devastation. The airport is operational. However, emergency housing supplies are desperately needed due to the collapse of more than 40 buildings in the city area. So we have both those. Now, we might do both because both of them, they both need the same thing. But obviously St. Martin's a little bit closer to where we are. So that's what we're going to at least start off with. And so we need these commodities. Now, if you look over here, let's go factories and construction because we need to look at something. So factories, here we go, items. Here's the tier 1. So what we need is emergency housing, right? So we need plastics and building materials. That's what we need to make these tier 3. Now we actually have a factory and we actually create plastics. If you see items produced, we make battery packs, plastics, and clothing. So we actually have already one that actually makes plastics. However, we're probably not going to actually use that because we need basically another factory to make this stuff. And looking at our bases, I think one, I kind of want to probably make it down here in Jacksonville because that's as south as we've got. So let's go over here, construction, and let's build a new construction facility. I think this actually takes several days, so that kind of sucks. All right, so down here, Jacksonville, let's use that as selected. Jacksonville International Facility. By the way, $1 million, and we've got 4.8, so that's very nice. So let's go ahead and build this thing. Under construction, 0%. So I think we might have to actually wait until we actually see what it actually does, till we can tell it what we actually want. And it doesn't tell you how long it takes. I kind of hate that. Item database, because if we look at our other factory here in Huntington, we can see we told it to make battery packs and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I don't understand right now. Why I think we have to actually come back to it when it's actually made. And then we can tell it what we actually want to, create. But we need to get that basically anticipated for that. So we need plastics and building materials. And they actually made it a little bit easier a while back to look at these commodities. So if you come over here, this may not work at first. I think you have to click on airports. See how there's nothing? You don't see any airports with commodities and stuff. So I'm going to come over here and click on find Huntington. We'll get there in a second. There's Huntington. All right, so we've clicked on that, and here we go, commodity stocks. Now you'll see like the different airports, and you'll see it comes up with animal feed. So you'll see all the ones with animal feed. And so let's see, building materials. Let's click on that. So we get $41 at building materials right here at Huntington. That's actually what we're going to take in just a second. I actually flew, or had Caitlin, she's our other cargo pilot, I flew her over to Charleston where they actually have chemicals. So now I've got to find one with chemicals so I can get to Charleston. Come on, thing. That's one thing I don't like about this. I need something with chemicals to get Charleston to pop up. That's a bunch of crap. Come on, Charleston. Where are the chemicals? I think I should actually go slower and actually look for chemicals because I was kind of screwing that up. Need something with chemicals. Come on. I just had a bunch of them not too long ago. There's chemicals. Alright, so here's Charleston. As you can see, chemicals, $12. You can see over here, this would be kiln. That's $11. So you can actually with red, they're a little bit cheaper. I guess with green, they're more expensive. So I've got Caitlin over here at Charleston KCRW. So we're gonna go ahead and load her up with chemicals, as much chemicals as we can put in that thing. So let's buy some. And yes, that will be in the Chieftain too. That's the plane she's at. So max, I don't know how we get into the max. So 3,231 pounds of storage. So 3,231, I guess you just click it, nice. All right, so let's go ahead and buy that. Commodities purchased. Now let's have her fly. Make sure that it's in there as well. Load, unload cargo. All those chemicals are there, sweet. She's gonna have to refuel because we didn't get her range. I know it's further than that. Because we're gonna fly a flight here in just a second, by the way. So let's get her to fly on down to Jacksonville. KJAX. Jacksonville. Alright, so she's on her way to Jacksonville. And we're going to be on our way here in just a second. So we're over here at Huntington. Now we've got to find something back with us. Building materials. Sometimes it can be kind of hard to find this crap. Building materials. There we go. Alright, so building materials are $41 over here at Huntington. So that's, and obviously that's going to be the cheapest. C46 is higher. They should have made it different. Green should be a better price, red not. But anyhow. So we need to fill ourselves up with building materials. Max we can buy is 300. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Not the base area. In our Chieftain. So let's go ahead and buy that. Sweet. I just want to check real quick. I wonder if it's... I wish it would tell me exactly how long. Because it says under construction 0%. That kind of sucks. We might have... I don't think we have to take building materials there to it, though, do we? I'm going to have to check on that. We've got building materials anyway. That would be kind of cool if you actually had to fly building materials down there. That would be cool. But I don't think we'd had to do that in Huntington, our first one. Anyhow. We are going to fly down to Jacksonville, obviously, now that got all that stuff. All right, so Tri-State, KHTS. The wind is kind of perpendicular here with the runway. We're going to take off on 30. That's usually the main runway anyway. So we're going to take off on runway 30. That's a heading of 299 degrees. Head on down to Jacksonville. It's about 474 miles. Now, the wind is doesn't really work too much with either runway. 25 and 7 seems to be the main runway. So I would imagine that's probably the one that they're using. So we're going to come in and land on runway 7. Runway heading is 076 degrees. Airport elevation is about 30 feet. Let's see. So we'll come in. I think we should probably just come straight in, but we'll do a little bit of a pattern since I think it's not going to be too bad. So we come in here about 211 degrees. Then we go parallel with the runway at 256. Then we do our little pattern work heading 166, and then for the heading the runway 076. Or you can come way out and use the ILS frequency 110.7. See, because it's a towered airport, it's a big international airport. So I don't think you would have general aviation doing patterns there. But I don't totally know. I could be wrong. Maybe I am wrong. So if anyone wants to leave a message about whether you would actually do that at that kind of airport or not, it'd be kind of helpful. Yeah, let's close FS Commander down. Eventually she will close. There we go. I didn't click it good enough. Alright, so let's see. Let's go over to... we can't fly passengers. So what we're going to do, fly this aircraft ourselves, and we're going to tell it that we're going to go down to Jacksonville, KJAX. There we go. Does it show distance? Yeah, there's the distance, 474. Before we do that, let's just make sure that we've got ours. I know we've got enough fuel. I wonder if they take clothing and aircraft parts down there, because we could put that in. Let's just check that. Clothing, especially in aircraft parts. Let's look down here. Jacksonville. That's not... Jacksonville's actually up to the north. Who takes... See, I can't find anyone to take battery packs. Does anyone need clothing? I don't know that we even be able to actually find that. Yeah, chemicals. See, that's one reason I wanted to build that there, because they got chemicals already there at the airport. So all we'll have to bring is building supplies. And I think there's building supplies really close. I was just looking at that. So that's really nice. Yeah, I think it doesn't really show tier 2 or something. So we'll just roll with it as it is. Fly the aircraft ourselves. I'm going to have to look at that construction stuff. KJAX. By the way, Cielosim is the airport that we'll be using. And Alabeo, obviously, is the PA-31-350 Chieftain. It's the military livery. Estimated range 750, so we've got tons of fuel. Alright, let's go ahead and, well, crap, we got to do this first. Alright, we're flying down to the south, so let's say we're going to go to like, I'll actually, go to 10.5. I can't remember how high we can actually fly this. I can't remember if it's pressurized or not. Because like I said, it's been so long since I've actually flown this thing. 5:41 p.m. Let's move it back a little. 2 minus, I think it's either 4 or 5 hours. I can't remember. GA small, that'll work. Alright, let's go ahead and move on over to the plane. Alright, everybody, here we are at the plane. I must have clicked it, had it still on last position, so use last position instead of the parking area. And I don't know how it thinks this is the last position. We're way over on this unused runway. There's the actual runway they're going to use. There's a plane over there. So we're on this inactive runway. Remove that yoke. I went through the procedures again just a little bit ago to help me remember so it doesn't take too long. Alright, so let's go over here to the before starting engine. Let's go to controls. Let's go ahead and check this real quick. Everything looks good. Rudder pedals looks good. Fuel selectors, we need to put those inboard. Crap, they're actually already... Let me do one thing real quick. Because it wasn't started up, so I didn't even think about this. Let's go cold and dark. There we go. Alright, so the parking brake is on. Alright, so now, let's go ahead and put these on inboard. Alright, so they're both to inboard. The crossfeed is off. Fuel firewall shutoffs on. Both of them are on. Alternate air is both off and pushed in. Circuit breakers, we'll say that they're all good. Electrical switches, everything is off. Let me check these real quick. Are these off? I think they are. Yeah, they're off. Alternator, circuit breaker switches, which we were just messing with. Let's go ahead and turn those on. Avionics switches is off. There's the switch. It's off. Alternate static source, which we can't even mess with, is off. And mixtures and idle cutoff, both of them are. Alright, so the master switch, let's go ahead and we'll turn that on. Over here, I believe it's the left one. Yeah, we'll go ahead and turn that on. Cowling flaps, let's go ahead and open those up. Alright, so the cowling flaps are open. Let's check the gear lights, 3 green. Annunciator panel, press to test. I believe, let me see. Because I can't remember if this is the annunciator panel or if this is the annunciator, because it's got the test button right there. But I think this one has the test as well. I think this is the actual annunciator panel, if I can get that button test. So I'm not sure what that would be called. Alright, so both of those are tested. And alternator in-op lights. Let me check this. See if we can get this a little bit. Let's see, left and right alternator in operational flight, lights are on. Pneumatic source, left and right, those are on. Door ajar lights are out. Boost pump and fuel flow lights checked. You can see left and right. emergency fuel pumps off. I could not find the emergency fuel pumps unless it's talking about these, but these are not emergency fuel pumps. These are should just be the normal fuel pumps. I cannot find the emergency fuel pumps anywhere. So we'll just say that that's good. Prop sync, again, that's another thing I can't seem to find. I cannot find prop sync. So we'll say that that's good. Autopilot flight director switch is off. Seatbelts and no smoking sign. Go ahead and turn those on. Seatbelts, no smoking. Alright, so let's go ahead and start the engines. Master switch off when you're using the APU. We're not using the APU, so we're good there. Alright, so the throttle will start with the left engine, about a ½ inch open. Prop control full forward. Left one is. Let's go ahead and turn on the mag switches. Both those are on. Alright, full rich for 6 seconds. 3, 4, 5, 6. Back to idle cutoff. I'm going to give it just a little bit here to help it start. The prop area is clear. Let's go ahead and hit the starter switch. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put that in full. I'm not sure if we need to lean it out or not. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. Alright, so oil and fuel pressure come down here. This is our left engine. We do have some fuel pressure, or sorry, oil. Fuel pressure over here, so we do have fuel pressure. Now it says alternator in-up light off. Of course it's not, because it doesn't really tell you to go ahead and hit that. That turns that's the alternator circuit breaker switch. And now you can see the left light does go off. Pneumatic malfunction light is also off. It says gear handle hydraulic check. You can't move it down, so that doesn't really make sense. Alright, let's go to the right engine. Throttle open, let's say a ½ inch. Prop control full forward. Mag switches. Turn those on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Auto cutoff. Move it up just a little bit. The starter. Advance that. Alright, so right engine we do have oil pressure, and it looks like we do have fuel pressure as well. So that looks good. The right alternator warning light is also off. And that's just about the fuel flow. As we advance the throttles, those will go off. Alright, so don't need to worry about a hot start or a flooded start. Alright, so before taxing APU removed, we didn't use that. Master switch on, of course. Lights as required. I kind of get a little confused about these because this is basically the strobe light and it seems to be the beacon. But it's got 3 switches. See, recog on. And position on. I don't quite understand. You can see we have the strobes on. We have our beacon, but I can never ever actually see the nav light, so I'm going to leave it like that. I don't quite understand that, but I think we do want it in position. I'm just not totally sure, because if you move it up to the top, I can't tell any difference. I can't tell if the nav lights are on or not, so everything to me looks the same. So I'm going to move that to position. I don't know if that's right or wrong. By the way, I'm going to go, well, we're technically on the runway. It's not a used runway, so I don't know if we should use it or not. By the way, you can notice the fuel pumps are off. It doesn't say to use those to start. I'm not sure if we turn those on for takeoff or not. I guess we'll see. Anyhow, the lights are as required here. Air conditioner, I'm not going to worry about it. Avionics master switch coming on. Gyros, altimeter, and clock. I'm just going to go ahead and click the button to adjust that. Alright, so it looks like everything is good there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these messages. There, that one's off. I don't remember exactly how I can turn those off. I really don't like this that suite of instruments. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but I don't like that. Autopilot, it says to check it and off. It is off. I'm not going to check it. But it is off. So, also, fuel valves, all positions. I'm not going to do that because as you move those, it actually shuts the engine off for a second. So, I'm not going to mess with that because I did that last time and I had to restart the engine, one of the engines. So, we'll just say that that's good as well. Radios will say that they're checked and park and brake can be released. Because we're taxing. Turn the tax light on. Bring my yoke back for a second. Alright, parking brake is off. Just see we're moving. Air hauler 2 has got us. Taxing, we'll just check the brakes real quick. They obviously work. Alright, so the next thing will be the engine run up. We need to set our stuff here in just a second as well. Our heading and everything. I can't even remember exactly off the top of my head how we do that. Like I said, it's been a while since I've flown in Air Hauler 2. So come on down here. I can't, like I say, I gotta remember like the heading bug and everything on this daggone thing. Hopefully it won't be too hard. I do like this plane, Alabeo. I kind of hate that it's got the same sound effects. You hear those like that little squeaking stuff that they use in all the planes. I kind of, I don't know, I guess that is easiest, but sometimes I just kind of wish they'd, I don't know. I would probably do that too if I was the company actually, instead of making different sound effects for each and every plane, because they do make a ton. Them and their sister company, Coronado. Alright, let's go ahead. I'm going to stop right here. Parking brake coming on. Let's see if I can clear these alerts. There we go. Heading, now see, I gotta remember exactly, there we go, 299. I like how it's speeding through there. What in the heck? There we go. Now it's going, oh, what in the world? There we go, 299. I guess you can switch the modes on how fast they move. That's kind of weird. I never have noticed that before. To be quite honest, I didn't really like it. Alright, so engine run up real quick. Parking brake is set. Fuel mixtures are rich. Prop controls are full forward. Cowling flaps are open. Instruments, everything looks good. We've already checked most everything that looks good. Alright, so throttles, let's go ahead and move those up to 1500 RPM. Wait, is this the plane that you can't actually stop? Alright, there's 1500. It seems like last time we couldn't get it to stop. There, the fuel warning lights are off. We're slightly over 1500. Alright, so let's say it's 1500 right there. Let's feather this real quick. And no RPM drop. What in the heck? What if I do them both? What in the heck? Neither. That's interesting. Gyro pressure 4 to 6. I think that this is the pressure over here. It's one of these two. That's our engine volts. Is this it right here? Sorry, but I can't remember. Gyro pressure. That looks good. Alright, alternator output checked. We actually see the volts, so that looks good over there. Alternator in-op lights are off. Annunciator panel lights have all gone out. Throttle's up to 2300 RPM. Maybe this is at 2300 where it can't hold itself. Actually, it needs a lot more throttle to get to 2300. You can see we're starting to move. Alright, so we can't really do the test because if it's just gonna move, we can't really do it. But that's where we would, I believe, check the mags and then also the prop control. It's very odd that it won't, feather. Very odd. I don't think we had a problem last time. Alright, so before takeoff checklist, fuel selectors are on inboard. Fuel quantity, sufficient. Right here you can see we're almost full. Actually, I should have checked that. I think we have the right amount of fuel there. I'm not sure if air hauler 2 loaded that properly or not. I should have checked that. Mixtures and props, full forward. Flaps, checked and set 0 for normal takeoff, checked and set 15 for short. We are at 0, so we're good. Let me just check the thing we can work. Alright. So they're at 0, autopilot is off. Surface de-ice off. I didn't even check that. I believe it's actually on. Let's check these real quick. By the way, I guess that's the alternative that we should have looked at, not the volts necessarily. But that does look good, it's charging. Windshield heat, let's go ahead and turn the pitot heats on as well. Prop de-ice is off right now. Surface ice off. Pilot and prop, or pitot and prop as required. Windshield heat is required. Avionics is required. Direction indicator set. I've got my heading set. Radar as required. Transponder as required. I saw the transponder a second ago and was thinking about it, and now that I actually need it, I can't find it. Get that off the screen. Where are you, transponder? I thought you were down below. By the way, CDI, make sure that is on GPS. That looks good. I just saw the transponder and now I can't find it again. There it is. 1234. It's not what I want. There we go, 1200. Altitude. So that looks good. Controls we've already checked. Emergency fuel pumps. I guess that is the emergency fuel pumps. That's the only one I see. So let's go ahead and turn those on. Air conditioner is off. Prop sync, like I said, I can't find it. So we'll say that that's off, and parking brake will go off. We'll say brakes, apply and hold. This is the normal takeoff. Mixtures full forward, props full forward. We're going to say that that's already good. Throttles full forward. Manifold pressure 43, which I believe is about the max. And we'll rotate at about 85 knots. Alright, then I'll have to get this ready. Alright. Let's go ahead and let's actually put our landing lights on as well. So it looks like all of our lights are on. It's kind of weird that it actually did say hold the brakes. As we bring the power up. I hope we've got enough runway here. We're actually in the landing area of the other runway, so we should be good. I think that's actually a lot longer than I was thinking. So much for holding the brakes. As you can see, they do roll forward. Airspeed is alive. 85 knots. Rotate, and there's that little freeze again for some reason. Alright, gears coming up. So we have a positive rate. Alright, we look good right there. I'm going to bring this back to 40 there on the manifold. And we want our props about, let's see, 2400 RPM. You can see they're about 26 right now. I left clicked for some reason. I hate trying to get those to match up. There we go. The other thing is trying to do all this, read the procedures, and fly. It's one thing I don't like. So let me go ahead and try to read the climb as we kind of mess around here. Mixture should be 30 gallons an hour. I'm not going to mess with that, to be quite honest. We'll check that as we go. And lean it out. Cowling flaps is required. Emergency fuel pumps can go off. Here, I'll do that in a second. Air conditioner is required. Seatbelts no. Smoking side on. Oxygen is required. Alright, so those fuel pumps are off. Now I can try and get both hands on here. If I actually fly this thing. Bring the power down just a little bit more. It seems like our props are over 2,500 RPM again. 2452. Let's move it to 80. Still just over 2,400. I'll say that that's good for right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to flying this plane because I've hardly flown it, to be quite honest, at all. Gotta head down to the south here. Good old Tri-State Airport. Need to do a little trimming here. A little better. There we go. A little happier with that. Now, what did it say? 30 gallons per hour, I believe. Minimum at 475 KHTS max, 1500 EGT max. The problem here is our EGT. I guess we'll have to go ahead and lean that out and that'll actually work. Let's go ahead and flip our autopilot on. It's easiest, I believe, to do it with this right here. There we go. Let's go ahead and switch that to navigation. I don't think we want altitude. Vertical speed. 1,000 feet a minute. I'm not sure. I'll have to check this here in a second. Because I thought that was altitude hold right there. See? I really don't like that. The autopilot is down here. Vertical speed. There's 1,000 right there. See, it's not actually, I don't think it's actually working though. If we go to heading, our heading is over here to the right, and it's not turning us. I can't remember how to use autopilot. Crap. Or do we have to click it up one more? There we go. That was just flight director. There we go. Alright, so vertical speed plus 1,000 right there. I guess this thing will trim itself though, right? You see, we are climbing 1,000, so it is trimming itself. I didn't like how it said trim down. And let's go ahead. We should have already leaned this. So both of them at 80. You see the EGT not moving at all? I don't quite understand why. Fuel selectors at cruise will be outboard or inboard. Power is set. Cowl flaps is required. Mixture leaned. Doesn't say anything about the RPMs. The last it said was 2400 RPM. Put it at 75. 2408. Move it to 74. There's 73. There, we'll put it right there. Taxi light coming off. Let's go ahead and move these down to like 55 for right now. Actually, probably lean out a little more in here just a little bit. Coming up on 9,000 feet. Then we'll get everything set. That'll be our cruising altitude at 10.5. So here it looks pretty good there. Good fall day, good for flying. Yeah, I have to become reacquainted with this plane. And this avionics suite, I just don't like it. I mean, I haven't used it in a while. The last one we used in was another Piper. It was a while back. The Seneca 5. I don't really like it. Like I say, I don't really use it that much. Outside air -4, so it's already freezing out. We've got that anti-ice and everything on. Let's go ahead and turn on our prop anti-ice. There's 10. Move this down. And then we'll hit altitude. I do believe that is altitude hold. Come on, thing. I want to move this out of the way. There we go. Alright, 10,300. We got 200 to go. You can actually see the speed going up. 440, we got 60 feet to go. $20 feet to go. There's 10.5. Altitude hold. Or is it? As we keep going up. I thought that would be altitude hold. Let's see what this is doing. I need to make another view for this thing. See, it's got it at 0, like it is holding. By the way, landing lights can come off. Let's check this out real quick. See, 10,000, I thought that's what it was. See, we are holding right at, that says 10.6, but that's got more at 10.5, so I don't really know. Alright, so we'll leave it alone. We'll say that that's good. I want to check this one more time. I want to move it down to 40. 40 and 40, that's good right there. Let's go ahead and bring our power down. Let's see what we get at 60%. I'm afraid that might be off the power too much. Here's 63%. Just watch how far our speed comes down. I do believe that this will give us an estimation of our time. Two hours, 27 minutes, 28 now. I don't want to use too much fuel, but I don't want to get too low on our speed here either. I'm not really sure exactly what the average cruising speed it is. It actually doesn't even say. By the way, conning flaps, you can come up. Now the speed is now climbing back up a little bit as we close those. I also have a question about the tanks, the fuel quantity. There's the fuel flow. But what about the inboard and outboard tanks? How do we know exactly when to use what? Since we got the fuel right here. Analyze, yeah, it doesn't really say anything about inboard and outboard. And we didn't load it, so I don't really know. We're still actually climbing up on it. That's pretty nice. So I'll leave it right there at 63%. Let's check one more time. It looks like 3 hours, 12 minutes. Is that true? No, 2:21. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and speed her on up. We'll be back in just a little bit. Alright, everybody, slowing her down here about 19 miles out. We're descending to about 1,000 feet AGL. And so on our descent mixtures, minimum 1350 EGT. We're never able to get up to 1350. By the way, I guess the EGT does actually work. It's just the gauge is weird how it starts out. I thought it would be in the middle of 0, but no. We never actually got it up all that high. I had the mixture down to like 30-some%, and it still never actually got up anywhere near 1300. Let's see. Oh no, don't tell me. Alright, let's save it real quick. Hopefully that was just a one-time thing. I gotta save it. Be right back. Alright, everybody, slowing it down to normal speed here. Have to edit this in. This is take 2 for coming in here. Last time around this distance away, it totally crashed. Ran out of memory. Had everything extremely dense. I thought that we were able to fly this airport like that. I'm not sure if we really could or not. I think that's it over there, by the way. And we're going to about 1,000 feet AGL to make our approach. Wondered if we didn't come out to the left a little too far. We're on the heading using the autopilot. Switched off a nav. And about 3,600 feet, 3,700 feet up. I'm going to go ahead and put these to full rich on the mixture. Our landing lights and taxi lights are both on. So I think I turned everything down to dense. I might have let the scenery I think I did actually, yeah, turn everything to dense. That looks like our airport, by the way. We'll try to approach at 211 degrees. That's the plan. I'm going to come down a little bit faster here. And our props are at 2,400 RPM. Which I believe is what they want for landing. Yeah, before landing checklist, prop controls will be at 2,400 RPM. So we're good there. Come back out to the left. Be a little out there and then come out over at 211. "10 miles out at 2,900 feet. Learned a little bit about the aircraft, by the way. By the way, don't take it to outboard. There actually lists gallons here. Let's look at that. Yeah, 36 gallons or whatever. I did that on the first trip down here, and after a couple minutes the engine shut down and we started falling out of the sky, so I had to fix it. So don't do that. Getting close here. I'm going to go ahead and pull back on the power just a little bit. We're at 2,400 feet. I'm going to pull back on the power just a little bit more. See, there it goes again with adjusting it to how it wants. I hate that, the range. We're going to be turning and having to hit the autopilot at the same time. I hate that. So I'm afraid I'm going to forget to hold the altitude and we're going to be screwed. I'm going to put that at 5 so we don't go too quick. I'll let it get just a little bit closer. Alright, let's try for 211. I think I should have probably let it get a little bit closer, though, is what I'm worried about. That's 211 right there. That actually might be pretty good. Then we'll go parallel with a runway. Downwind leg will be at 256. Actually, I think that was pretty good. I can't remember if you come to the edge or if you try to come to the middle of the runway. I'm not sure. But we're about 4 miles out. About 400 feet to go. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little bit slower. We actually want to be at like your altitude and your speed, but I've got so much going on. I'm not good at. I'm a little worried about trying to do that. Let's go for 256. Perhaps could have gotten a little bit closer, but I'm pretty happy with that. And because of the wind, we might have to adjust our heading a little bit. Get us right there at 256. 256 right there. We're actually going to have to come back a little left. 256. Compass says it's good. This guy is 258. Maybe we'll go with the compass. Put our altitude right there. Everything looks good. Sim looks good. Alright. Before landing, the seatbelts, no smoke signs are on. Emergency fuel pumps. Let's go ahead and turn those on. Air conditioning. Let's see. I put it on like just a fan. I'll go ahead and turn that off. Mixers are at full rich. Prop sync we don't have really. 2400 RPM is what we're at. It says gear at below 153, so we can actually, we're at 150 right now. We can go ahead and drop the gear. For some reason, oh damn it, I needed to hit that again. That's alright, we're just below it. What we wanted to be. I forgot you had to hit that again. You hit altitude and it clears it, and you got to hit it again. So speed has come down. I'm going to add just a little bit of power. Gear mirror, I don't know what that means. Brake pressure, I don't know how we can check the brake pressure. Pneumatics seem fine. I can hit the brake pedals, nothing seemed bad there. Then we'll turn the autopilot off here in a minute when we're ready to land. Doesn't really give you speed either. It's this stupid thing. That's of no help when you're zoomed down like that. There we go. That stupid thing. Alright. Flaps. Alright, we can go 166. That's not the right one. Although we'll probably just swing on back around because there's not much time for a downwind like when we get so close. It actually says we're too low. That's fine though. And then 076. I can't see that. There we go, 076. Bingo, bingo. Alright. Our speed's getting a little low here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the autopilot. Wow, that was a shriekingly loud beep. So I'm not sure exactly of the landing speed. We should be okay. We're on the glide slope. You can see down here as well. Just below it. I'm going to pull back on the power a little bit more, help us descend. Saw that flash over there. I'm not sure if that was pneumatic or fuel flow, fuel pressure, or what it was. So if you take off at 85 knots, you know it's going to be well below that. We're just above the glide slope. Alright, I'm going full flaps. Speed coming down. Whoa, just got a big gust of wind. We gotta get back left. You can see the wind is blowing to the right. We're getting just a little low. Add some power. Get off the power just a little bit as we're getting a little high. It's a twin, so I guess we gotta fly her down to the runway. Can't just get off it and float. Coming down, off the power just now. Says it was a greaser, we went a little further than I wanted to go. I see a taxiway down here that we can use, so I'm not using the brakes yet. Might as well save those if it was real life. This thing really wants to go left. I'm gonna have to really fight it. Not too bad. I'm pretty happy. Went a little long. That's because of the way you gotta fly her down to the ground, so it didn't seem that bad to me. Flaps retracting. Let's see, we can turn those fuel pumps off. Alright, so cowling flaps need to be opened. Make sure we're not moving. Emergency fuel pumps are off. Heater switch if used. Fan. We can see this air conditioning down to the bottom. I'll put the fan on. I got the recirc fans on as well, I think. Yeah, recirc fans. Prop controls forward. Whoa, hello Delta. And strobes off. Oh, landing lights need to come off too, I would expect. I'm gonna turn that to that right there. I'm not sure if that's totally correct or not. But and what do you know? They're gonna probably use the other runway, the other direction. Wow, where did this guy come from? And what is he doing? He's doing like donuts on the runway, doing 360s. Nice that we got some traffic though. Did I just turn it? I hope I turned it off. He's actually on the runway. Did he come down and land in the same direction as us? And he's just now getting off the runway? I don't. That's a weird taxi because I thought he was turning the other ways at one point. Alright, let's come down here. I would like to go over to here. I think we can take that little area right there. We'll come over there. That's where the general aviation seems to be. Let's check our frame rate. I wonder if it wasn't just, because if you didn't, if you weren't listening when I was coming in, this is the second time we OOM'd about, maybe not quite 15 miles from the airport the first time. That happened once when I was going to Raleigh the very first time, and after that we were actually able to use extremely dense there. I think that might have happened here because the way I had to change my scenery around. Because I thought for sure we'd used extremely dense here before. Or it could have been just it was such a long flight. I really don't know. That was clicking a bunch of stuff throughout the flight. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure that we used extremely dense here before. Because I had to switch over from openLC South America, which I was flying an air hauler, over to North America, and then enable this scenery again, and all kinds of stuff, so I'm not totally sure what happened. And when I started back, I checked, I had to open air hauler 2 back up, and our factory is at 1%. I'm expecting it to take around 3 days, 3 to 5 days, really. Yeah, so that plane is coming back. He must have landed in the same direction as us, right after us. I'm going to come down here. That plane is pointed towards the right. That GA plane, so I think we're going to do the same thing. Kind of line up with him. I should have gone a little further out. Park our Chieftain right up next to him. We'll get too close from the wings. Right on up here. There we go. There we go. Parking brake. Let's see. Did we do a good job here? I mean, that's totally good with me. Almost like I'm a pilot sometimes. Alright, not really though. Shut down. Parking brake is set. Let's turn our avionics off. There's our master switch right there. Throttles are idle. Mag grounding. It says checked. I do not know what the mag grounding. I have never actually heard that. Autopilot and flight director. Did this go to flight director? I didn't even check that. Alright, so off, but I'm going to click it again. Just so when I hit the autopilot off on my joystick, it didn't actually move that down. That's okay. And it says mag grounding checked, and that's the last I have for the freaking checklist for some reason. That's weird. We'll have to go with what we know. Tax light should already be off because we're not taxing. Seatbelts, no smoking, those can go off. Recirc fans off. That is... Okay, that's off right there. Pitot heat, windshield heat, all that can go off. Fuel pumps are off. We still need those on because we haven't shut down yet. Feather the props. Now, cut the fuel. Mags off. Now we can turn this off. Alternator, circuit breakers. Is that right there? And that's the, what is that again? Alternator on off, I believe. And then master switch. Air hauler 2. Let's go ahead and... Well, see, I don't want to... We need our thing to be... That's the only problem. I think we're kind of stuck with this plane here because I can't unload it, as you can see, to my... our factory because the factory isn't built. So that's kind of a problem. So I'll have to actually just keep this plane here. That kind of sucks. Well, we can always use... Well, her plane is going to be screwed too. It's going to be held up, so... But that's alright, I guess. I'll deal with it. Also, the flight took 2 hours and 47 minutes. Was a greaser here. Took off at 2:10 p.m. Landed at 4:57. Took off with 982 pounds of fuel. Landed with 333. Max altitude 10,613 feet. Max pitch max pitch was 30.57. Max roll was negative 55.85. For some reason, at the very beginning, I thought I had my autopilot on, and for some reason, it wasn't actually following the nav, so I had to get that set. So it was a little crazy there for a little bit. But anyhow, max speed 183 knots. Minimum G's negative 1.02. Minimum G is 0. Hold on, I got to pause my mic for a second. All right, back. Max G's 3.25. That's probably why that was so high at the beginning. Max G's exceeded 0. Stall false. Overspeed false. Landing description greaser. Landing gear down true. Landing surface concrete. No damage to the runway. No damage to the plane. Came down at 59.5 feet a minute. It was very smooth, I gotta say. Landing pitch negative 2.84. Landing roll 1.55. Landing heading 72.49. Landing wind speed 5. Direction 323. Let's just go finish flight monitoring. We'll have to leave everything in. Caitlin will have to leave. We'll have to leave it in her plane as well. This is not. I know that. Leave me alone. It's like it, because I don't know if because I still have stuff in there. It should know that. There she goes. She'll be here in 26 minutes. So we can check our construction facility. Yeah, it's still only 1% done. Damn. It's gonna take some time. I'll have to check. Because remember we had that one before. I can always check the video and see what I said about that. I thought, but the only thing I'm kind of worried about is I thought we told it right when we built it what to create, but apparently not. Because I thought maybe with our other factory, I guess once it's built, you can't change, what you want that thing to make. Add ship stock. So that kind of sucks because it's already set up, you know, what it produces. We haven't run it 1/9 to September, so it's been over 8 months since we've even made anything. But yeah, like factory details, you can't change what it makes, right? Because if I do that, yeah, it's. So I guess once that thing is made, do we have any? I'll just check that. So once when that gets made, we can select what we want it. We need emergency housing. We need to turn those chemicals into plastics, and then we'll have the plastics along with the building construction to make the emergency housing. And then we can do some humanitarian missions. Glad we had so much money saved up. We wouldn't be able to do it at all because we already spent, was it $1 million to build the thing? And now these 2 planes are stuck down here because we got to wait until that thing is built so we can unload them. But yeah, so we'll keep on working with these humanitarian missions, trying to get that done, at least a little bit. It's kind of fun. So I'm glad that something finally came up. So that's really cool. But yeah, I might be able to free up a plane by switching from one plane to another. Although I think that one plane might have been full, actually, hers. We'll have to check. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. I hope you all did enjoy it. I will catch you guys on the next flight.